You've put out some information recently about what's happening with the new Earth, some of the things that are changing, the pathways, and the concept of the two Earths and things like this. So I was wondering what's happening right now with the processes around the creation of the new Earth, and what kind of time frames are the first time frames that we sort of need to be aware of?
There's multiple layers in this question.
Yeah.
There's different aspects of information that you're wanting to seek to find. And when you ask around processes of the new Earth, what exactly is it that you mean by that?
Processes just meaning, in a sense, just what is the Earth going through at the moment? What changes are taking place at the moment?
The Earth's structures have been in a process of evolution, an evolutionary cycle that happens in a 42,000 year shift. So every 42,000 years the Earth goes through a transformation. There are known points of time that this has taken place, which is known as the pole shifts. But there are multiple different points of time that have occurred with evolutionary expressions of the Earth through weather systems. This has been brought to the awareness of humanity through what would be considered global warming. There has been an educational aspect or an agenda that has been informing humanity of these drastic weather changes, in the awareness that sea levels will rise and different parts of humanity or the Earth may end up extinct with species and different aspects of change to the climate. This is the pre-feeding of information in the awareness for what's taking place. This specific pole shift is 42,000 years of pre-predicted evolution. Other points of time have had what you could consider a smaller cycle. This is a macro cycle. This is a cycle from the point of the Earth's creation to this current point of time that has moved through not just a shift in the Earth but also in the consciousness. Mm-hmm. So the shift in the Earth is a direct response of the shift in the consciousness. The consciousness being that there has been a point of reverse engineering that has occurred, which basically means that humanity has lived off a construct of information, or what some would consider to be the matrix, and the matrix being a structure of beliefs and frameworks that are no longer resonant to the new expression of the next cycle of evolution.
Yeah, makes sense. So the shift in consciousness is directly connected to a physical shift on the Earth.
The molecular structure of the Earth is the exact energy structures of the molecules. This is scientifically proven of your physical body. It has a resonance in energy and frequency that will affect the neurology as well as the heart, and different aspects of chemical compounds that sit within the physical body. So if you look at the connection between the energetic and magnetic field of the Earth, then you can recognize that when the people shift, the Earth shifts, and vice versa.
Yeah. So you've spoken a bit about what these shifts are going to be in the physical representation of the Earth on some posts and things that you put out. What can we expect more of, and over what sort of time frame?
there has been a rapid increase in consciousness and productivity of energy within the earth structures that has been taking place over the last 14 to 15 months. And we are currently in a point of closing out that you could say microcycle, being that of a smaller period of a window. This cycle means that there is a point of focus being that on the consciousness of the beings rather than that on the physical structures of the earth. So the focus point at the moment in evolution is on consciousness and what has and is taking place on the form of thought that then moves into that of the physical body, and then it manifests in that of the physical earth. So in each layer of consciousness at all times we have frequency in the form of light, vibration, sound, thought in mind. That then manifests into physical feeling, and then it manifests into physical reality. So the shift that is occurring at this point in time is the closing out of the thought into body, and there are some that are moving from body into earth. We are all evolving at different rates. There are multiple expressions of consciousness on the planet, and so the higher evolved beings that are incarnated on the earth at the time are moving into the body to earth manifestation stage, which is what you could consider the foundational expressions of consciousness in reality. Does that make sense?
Yes. So it's... Can you just touch on, in a little more detail, what you mean from moving from body to earth? And why it's the... You say it's the leaders in consciousness that are focusing on this. Yeah. How does that work?
If we refer to the beings that are here for the Great Awakening, we have 3 waves of consciousness. The first waves of beings, the second wave, and the third. This is a generational age sect of soul family or soul tribe, soul group that have come. The waves of beings doesn't necessarily mean the evolvement of consciousness. You can have leaders in all 3 waves. This depends on what roles have been chosen by each individual soul and what they've chosen to bring to earth from wherever they chose to come from, whether you see that as a state of consciousness or a planetary or constellation positioning, that this coming here does not affect what the leader would be considered now, other than if you chose a role of leadership. But still, as a human being, each and every individual has to continue to choose their soul's path. So there are many that may have chosen to be leaders in the New Earth paradigm and have forgotten effectively. So in the forgetting, what happens is the body is turned off. The cellular structure and the DNA cells and everything in the physical genetics is stagnant or offline, which means that that junk DNA that scientists talk about is the expression of a forgotten being or someone who is asleep. The leaders are beings that are activating this junk DNA and turning it all on so that their cells are acting as if it's a universal library. They have information that moves through each of their neural pathways, their circuitry system, and their entire physical vessel starts to hold a living library in the body. This library And the more information it holds, the higher consciousness it is, the higher vibration, sound, light. That directly has an input, as we're all connected, to that of the physical matter. That being that this physical form has a ripple effect, and what it becomes in the inner representation of the inner cellular structure, which you don't see in the DNA cellular level, then omits and transmits this same frequency that has been come to know inside the cellular expression of the body, that then meets a vibrational resonance and creates that in the outside. So the connection points are the different aspects of multiple beings across the entire planet that are choosing this. And if there was, say, myself and someone in South Africa, there is a connection point that can be made through the ether, but also through the earth. This creates synapses pathways, or pathways of information, where the earth chooses different consciousness expressions.
Yeah, I understand. So through direct connection to those who are choosing to activate this DNA and to move into higher expressions of themselves, they're actually directly communicating with the earth through being in contact with it. Yeah. And that's having a direct effect on the physicality and, well, on the consciousness that the earth chooses to move into. So those that are choosing to activate these aspects of DNA and to walk that path, how can they continue to do that? And how can they continue to do that? And those people that are wondering if they are choosing or not choosing, what do they need to know?
I'm not entirely sure I'm understanding your question, but I will answer in the way that feels most true, and you can let me know if that answers. Those that are choosing to consciously transform their consciousness by being in some form of devotional practice, working in self-reflection, clearing trauma or not self aspects, or working on the ego construct, this creates a pathway of information to be remembered, where they remember the authentic self. This allows for the point of the soul, or the blueprint, to be activated. This is where visions and awareness, or soul directive, comes into play. And there is a knowing that starts to evolve, that one is not just here to awaken the planet or to be of service or to help heal, but there is clarity as to what exactly that means and how that evolves. The more that these individuals clear away the blockages, the more that they return the information sources, like a library of pages that tells them directly what they're here to do. And so this library of pages has the awareness of where they're required to be, where they're required to meet specific times or people, and co-create different experiences. And this is the beginning stages of building the new earth structures.